Hello. How's everybody going out there? James here. I got another video, and it was something. I'm gonna title this as a couple short films. One it's gonna be about towns and what black people went through in the 21st century. Here's a couple short clips. Come on. They said, can the community overcome its past? Philadelphia, Mississippi. This is where the civil rights workers were at. Fair use, copyright fair use, 1976.
Sadly, men had to give up their lives to, I always say their lives were taken in the cause of justice and civil rights. And to those who were members during that time and those who suffered, it's something we should never forget. We're on what considered rock cut road. South part of Shelby County. This is the area where the three men were taken and supposedly killed down in this area. Now that area where they buried them is down that way, and that's property that we don't, nobody never go on. We just talk about this place. Just some old parts of my other campaign. I think after this election, '09, people from all over the United States were calling, congratulating. We were invited to D.C. and we did socialize with the then Vice President, Biden. It was like a national phenomenon. Like, I'm thinking, where did this come from? Livingston, Montana, Kansas City, Kansas, Syracuse, New York, from Burnsville, Minnesota, Columbus, Georgia, St. Clements, Ohio. No, Oregon. Here's one from Honolulu, Hawaii. The one that sticks out in my mind is there was a doctor in Texas. And this is from North Richland Hills, Texas. It's Mayor Young. I enjoyed your story on CNN and Fox News. I'm a white 68-year-old Texan. I wrote me a note in big letters, big, huge letters. And he said, I'm writing this way because I'm going blind. But I wanted to congratulate you. Yes, I am almost blind. On this historic win. I had no idea that this election would garner that much attention. And I ran against a savvy, tough opponent. The mindset of the community has been shifted to a mindset of unity and working together. And maybe there's another reason, too. I've been a pastor for 30 years, so people don't pick on preachers that much. and my election was about people. whatever color may be, it was about us. I think it should be that we learn from that season how damaging racism is, how it affects today's success or failure. You know, you can live in the past and never grow. You can live in the past and create war after war after war about the past. But if you spend your time living in the past, you never get a chance to experience what the future can be like.
That was an area where the civil rights young men lost their lives. And there's more story to it. This is Martin Luther King, and this is more of the background of that story. And if you want to check out the website, and this is in Philadelphia, Mississippi. And you know, in that movie Mississippi Burning, this is based off that movie, where those 3 civil rights workers, and they just show you what happened. It was a real tragic event, trying to get people to vote. Yeah, that was a really rough time. Okay, the next story I want to show you another clip, and it seemed like this is one of the other clips I want to show you, if I can find it right quick. It's how, you know, people say 60 years ago in the class, but there's still some things going on that are racist. And you know how it boggles the mind. I saw that clip. You have to go back. But yeah, you know, that was Philadelphia, Mississippi. And okay, you've probably seen this one on a couple YouTube channels. This is about this 1975. It tells how we search for the victims of the racist attack that happened back then. And you probably remember this video. I'm gonna let the video play, and then you'll read the article.
We had called them bike hikes. We were just going out to go explore your world.
It would be at least 6, 7, 8 of us. Our parents said as long as you were home before the street lights came on, you stayed as a group, you're fine.
It was a beautiful day, sunshine. The children in the neighborhood planned to go on a trip to McDonald's, just have some fun, something different to do.
Rosedale we thought was a safe place. We all went down, we were riding our bikes.
And then we saw down the block that there was this beautiful American flag blowing in the wind.
We saw a group outside on the block. So we was like, oh, this is a block party.
The last thing that I remember was someone saying, oh, a parade. And so we went down to go see the parade, and I laugh about it to this day because it was a parade to get the black people out of Rosedale.
It's the summer of 1975. White residents in Rosedale, Queens are protesting black families moving into the neighborhood. These are scenes from a documentary produced by journalist Bill Moyers.
Does he have a right to live here?
No.
Why not?
Because he's black.
This was not the South. This was not Greenville, Mississippi, or Spartanburg, South Carolina, or Atlanta, Georgia. This was right in the heart of the greatest metropolitan area in the country.
The documentary was found nearly 45 years later by a graduate student who posted a short clip on the internet. It went viral on Twitter and Facebook. And a question people kept asking, where are the kids now?
Hey Rob, this is Whitney Hurst calling from the New York Times. My name is Whitney Hurst, I'm a journalist.
To answer that question, we called more than 90 people who had lived in Rosedale at that
I was
time.
trying to find anyone that might have known someone.
We couldn't find any white residents who said they'd been there.
Came out because he got a little bit crazy.
But we spoke with several of the black children. We wanted to hear what happened to them that day, to understand why their experience is resonating decades later.
We went down to see what was going on, probably in the middle of the blocks. That's when we figured out it was something else. And it was something that we definitely were not invited to.
We noticed that they were running towards us. I was like, wow. Like, why are they rushing towards us, not thinking anything negative? And then we heard, nigger.
They surrounded my best friend at the time, Marina. One of the young men hit her. They started calling us names. They started throwing rocks.
Hearing the word, hearing it directed at me. Why are you calling me that? That's not me. I've always been told that's not me. I didn't understand. I was like, who do you think you are to say we can't come here? Like, how dare you?
What happened to you?
This little boy, he threw the rock. He tried to hit my sister, but he almost hit me about that much away from me. And I was sure wish he had hit me with that rock. I would pick up the rock right next to me and hit him right in his face.
I was just kind of amazed to see that people could act like that, to tell you the truth. But that was like really the first where I was like, wow, people do not like black people.
They will always do that. They always spit on us like we some dogs. They always gonna back on them. Ain't nothing gonna change.
I immediately was reminded of those programs my parents would have me watch with the dogs and the hoses and people trying to vote and being killed and lynched. It went right back to my history in this country. It just linked me immediately with that whole experience because I felt it.
Do you forgive them?
No. No. Can't take back no hurt.
I didn't know what to do with those feelings. I did not know what to do with those feelings.
For Moyers, the video going viral shows how powerful images can be.
He tried to hit my sister, but because we were in their neighborhood.
I do believe that television has been a great teacher. This country didn't really respond to what was going on in the South, although it was well known, until the sheriff in Birmingham turned the water hoses and the dogs on those young people who were demonstrating there. We knew about it, we heard about it, we were aware of it, but we didn't see it. We couldn't escape it once we saw it.
We filmed in Rosedale. A group of blacks from South Jamaica was coming through the neighborhood in a demonstration of support.
Every time a group of blacks get together, they want to help Rosedale with their problems. We don't need any outsiders helping us with our problems. And we'll stay white, period.
All right, so guys, this next scene is very disturbing
All right, it's the one I was telling you about yesterday. I started a sociology elective in 2004, 2005 school year, and my supervisor at the time, he said, come up with something that's close to home that maybe you can relate to today. I grew up in Rosedale, and I said, I wanted to do a unit on race in America. And that Rosedale video, they've been showing it for 15 years now. You know, giving it to the kids and say, what do you think?
I've never seen racism on camera. That was full on racism and just bullying.
I'm glad that I saw it because it needs to be seen. I feel like everyone should see this.
I think it's come back up because of the fact that we're going back, kind of.
Racism is still alive. It's still poisoning other minds.
This is how it was back then. Let's not repeat it again.
Emotionally, I think it's connecting with kids more today. This generation is that I generation. They can see it in a 10-second span, make a connection to it. The kids are never going to forget that. They can't unsee it, and it's going to be with them forever.
Rosedale, it's turned predominantly black now, so we're welcomed there now. That day, the American flag was the image, the symbol that pulled us into that situation. We live in America. The American flag means good things. It means that we can go where we want to go. We can ride our bike down any street in America. But it really represented a symbol of do not enter. So they took that beautiful image and turned it into something ugly for me. And I want the flag back.
$1975. That was not that long ago. That's about the 1960s. So you talk about 6 to 7 years after the 1960s. Racism went from one decade to another decade. So it's really, really interesting. Let's see this one. See if we get any video on it. Nope. Yeah, it was really something. Yeah, that was really whoa. Now I'm gonna show you a couple other short videos. This is from CNN, and this talks about blackface. This is why blackface was offensive. And this shows you the pictures. From back then. I don't have any video on it. Nope, no video on it. Just pictures. Alright then. But this is let me see it. Wow, this is something from this is another topic about unmasking blackface. This is from the CBS site. It's like everywhere you go on the planet during the time, it's just some people want to mock black people.
Megyn Kelly's show was canceled.
Dang it.
On-air remarks expressing acceptance of blackface. It's a racist show business practice most of us thought was long gone. But as Maurice Dubois is about to tell us, blackface has a long history in our country. And we caution you, his report unavoidably includes many offensive and disturbing images.
It happens all too frequently, often at Halloween, but not exclusively.
They thought it was a joke, but it really just was not funny at all.
For example, 2 years ago in Maplewood, New Jersey.
Her daughter posted this photo of herself and a friend in blackface.
The two girls had no idea what blackface was or the history of it.
The history of blackface is long and complex and deeply ingrained in our culture.
Who was that lady I saw you with this afternoon? That is no lady. That was my wife.
Even Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd blacked up.
Fantastic, isn't it?
For more than 100 years, white and then black performers wore dark makeup and created not only a popular theatrical form, but stereotypes that are still with us today. This makes you uncomfortable, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It does make me feel uncomfortable to talk about these things because they are incredibly disturbing and revolting.
Eric Lott, a professor at the Graduate Center of the City University of New York, says blackface represents a strange mix of envy, fascination, desire, and fear. Explain the fear part to me. What are these white performers, what are these white people afraid of?
They're afraid of black groups, mobs, rising up and taking the power.
Minstrel shows began in the 1830s, and white performers used burnt cork or later black grease paint. Minstrelsy eventually became the most popular form of entertainment in the country.
Ah, yes.
I asked Margot Jefferson, the Pulitzer Prize-winning critic, to look at some images from the New York Public Library.
The shininess of the black against the big white clown's mouth. The hat, the overlong tailcoat, mocking. It always gives me the jolt that racist history does. Blackface is so tied to comedy, to people enjoying themselves, to people having fun, that rattles you still more.
Well, Mr. Tambo, you seem to be enjoying yourself this evening. Enjoying myself? I sure is.
White minstrel performers claimed that what they did on stage was based on their perceptions of how black people lived.
Some of this came out of a genuine fascination with the music, the songs, the dances, the performance styles of black people.
But it's also where Jump Jim Crow was born, along with other characters depicted as lazy, lying, or buffoonish. Remember, this was all happening before the Civil War.
Slavery was all about creating visions, types, stereotypes of an entire race of people as subhuman in every way.
By the 1860s, African Americans began using blackface on stage. Why on earth would a black performer put on blackface and demean him or herself?
Look, this is the 19th century. They had limited options. They were expected to.
Why?
Because it made the audiences comfortable. You can be fascinated, you can be excited, but you can always feel superior.
In effect, the black makeup on a black performer became a theatrical mask with many layers of meaning. Professor Eric Lott.
The mask, I think, says to white audiences, you have nothing to fear. Go ahead, enjoy yourself. To black audiences, I think any number of things might have been communicated. Like, can you believe that these people are making me put on this mask so they will be entertained? You know, in other words, it was a kind of winking to the black audience. But it gave black performers access to the stage.
One of the biggest black stars to come out of the minstrel tradition was Bert Williams, who wore blackface from vaudeville to Broadway.
It's clear that
was a genius of a performer.
But how did he reconcile performing in this demeaning art form?
He was very melancholy about it. He knew it was necessary for his career, as all other black performers knew it.
Minstrelsy on stage basically died out in the 1920s, but blackface lived on in the movies.
I walk a million miles from one of your smiles.
In 1927, Al Jolson starred in the pioneering talking picture The Jazz Singer, playing a young man who prefers singing popular music rather than his family's traditional Hebrew
Copyright
prayers.
1976. Fair use.
I know where the sunshine sets.
I don't want to look at it. What reaction do you get?
I totally understand it.
Wait a minute. I don't like the way he said that.
In the Our Gang comedies of the 1930s, Spanky appeared in blackface.
Buckley, did you say Spanky was in a lot of trouble? Yes, sir.
The gag here is that the gang doesn't realize that that's Spanky in blackface until they actually see buckwheat.
Hiya, Buckwheat. Hiya, Buckwheat.
So the gist of it is that you put blackface makeup on anyone and they become black.
And that's supposed to be hilarious.
And it's supposed to be really funny.
When he grows up.
And it goes on. During the golden age of the Hollywood musical, Judy Garland.
When he walks down the street, folks will say, please to meet Mr. Franklin D. Roosevelt Jones.
Bing Crosby.
That's why we celebrate this blessed February day. Abraham.
Fred Astaire, and many others, all blacked up. It's still in the culture.
It is too easy, I think, simply to dismiss the history of blackface as that racist stuff. And most of us are better than that. I don't think most of us are better than that. We are that. That's what we are.
You know, some people say in order to move forward, we need to put this stuff behind us, as painful, as just upsetting that it may be.
Well, any form of history that gets suppressed or repressed or erased out, it comes back to haunt. What has to happen now is a discussion, an acknowledgement of this charged, complicated, painful history.
It never goes away.
When weather turns extreme,
It never goes away.
and the Weather Channel bring you virtual weather.
And so that's how they use, and they know that black people today find that really offensive, and they don't care. They don't care, and really, it's kind of like it's a mind game. It seemed like, we like you, but we gotta mock you, and we expect you to entertain us, and so they think you're less subhuman, and that's my interpretation of it. Like, it's like basically it's like, wow, it's like you really subhuman yourself to being humiliated like that with blackface, and it still happened. I mean, people still go to parties. College parties probably do it now. White fraternities probably still do it. You see people on TikTok, and you'll see people who are still doing it to this day. And it shouldn't be surprising. It's painful, but it is what it is, and unfortunately, it's not going away. I always say, but guess what? Since something's going to happen, they make us look. I'm gonna play something, a little bit of Leo Dunson's, and it's something powerful. I'm just gonna show 5-10 minutes of it. He's a YouTuber. I mean, he's a pastor. But this, see those people, they mocked us, but in the end, they're gonna regret, because they're gonna see what we really made of. See,
by funding $107 million in scholarships and
that's the people they're gonna see.
Don't worry. I'll be back.
When a bank does what it says, opportunity happens.
Okay.
Supernatural blessings coming for the Israelites.
You are gods and goddesses.
This is the type of message that'll get you banned. This is the type of message that had the Romans cutting off the prophets and the apostles' heads. This is the type of message, the type of faith that gets you canceled, that gets you cut off. This is the kind of faith that they don't want you to have. This is the kind of faith they want you to stay away from. Because if you have this kind of faith, you're going to follow God's laws, commandments, and statutes to the T. Because when you know that he's coming for you, when you know he's coming to bring a supernatural blessing to you, you want to honor him by following him. I can't even get to my message. This ain't even in my notes. The supernatural blessing coming for the Israelite. 1 John 3 and 2. Beloved, now we are sons of God, and it do not yet appear what we shall be. But we do know that we shall appear, we shall be like him. We shall be like Christ, having immortality like him, being able to control the elements like him.
All black people will be getting powers. If you have any amount of black DNA in you, you will be getting some form of powers. But you also must have a substantial part. Obviously, if you're a pure African, you will be an Omega level mutant. You will possess powers that are basically limitless. Your powers will transcend your human body, and you will be able to control and manipulate energy, time, and even space. If you are majority African, 99.9% to 51%, you will be an alpha level mutant. You will possess powers that are somewhat limitless, but they do have their boundaries. You will be able to manipulate energy, but you won't be able to manipulate time and space. Lastly, any person from 50% to 30% is a beta level mutant. You will possess superhuman ability. Betas look like humans, but are superior beings.
I've been talking a lot lately about faith and having a faith that surpasses all understanding. Telling y'all how the Bible says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We have to have that kind of faith in these last days. We have to have that kind of faith right now as we wake up from our slumber. I hope y'all hear what I'm saying. What kind of faith do you have? What kind of faith do you have? When I say there's a supernatural blessing coming to you. See, when you was a Christian, right? When you was in, you believe this. All we have to do is believe on Christ, believe in his name, and when the destruction and the death comes, we would all be saved. We would all have these immortal bodies and live forever. You believed that when you was a Christian, but now that you know that God is coming for you, do you still have that kind of faith? What kind of faith do you have? Or is this just a game and a gimmick, something to entertain you? God is going to pour out his spirit on us in the last days, and the scripture says that we will be like him. The supernatural blessings that's coming for the Israelites.
Now, black people's skin contains carbon. Carbon-12 composed makes 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons, which is the structure for melanin. Melanin comes from the sun. That's why people get darker in the sun, because they absorb this melanin. Right now, our DNA is locked. We only use 20 out of 64 amino acids. The hotter that sun gets and the more we're in it, is unlocking our DNA.
There's a blessing coming. There's blessings coming. You were supernaturally cursed, and now you're going to be supernaturally blessed. The book of Enoch 1 and 8. But to the just, he will give peace and will protect the chosen, and mercy abide over them. Listen to this. They will all be gods. The chosen will be gods. This is what they're saying. And will be prosperous and blessed, and the light of God will shine for them. All Israel will be saved. I talk about that all the time. They will all be gods. They will all be prosperous and blessed. The saints and the sinner. The one who kept God's laws and who didn't. All Israel will be saved. I hope y'all hear what I'm saying. We don't deserve it. You don't deserve it either. We are all wicked and evil. But he is going to do it. Our God, the Most High Yah, is going to bless us in these last days because he said he would do it. Not because of our righteousness, but because of his righteousness. righteousness. You see how this sounds so familiar to what you've been hearing your whole life as a Christian, but now that you hear it knowing it's you, not because of your righteousness. See how the Christians say not because of their righteousness, not because of your righteousness, but because of his righteousness. Oh Lord, I thank you. God, I thank you. Deuteronomy 15:6. For the Lord your God will bless you as he has promised. He promised to bless us. 400 years of captivity, 400 years of mistreatment, 400 years of oppression, 400, come on somebody, 400 years of this captivity and downtrodden and being the borrowers and not the lenders, being the tail and not the head. But he promised that he was going to bless us for eternity. That was his promise. For the Lord your God will bless you as he promised. And you will lend to many nations, but will borrow from none. You will rule over many nations, but none will rule you. Currently, right now, they rule you. And that's why I read for you 1 John 3:2 in the beginning, saying that we are not yet, you do not yet appear what we are going to appear. Scripture in the plain text says that you will reign and rule over many nations and that none will rule over you. The supernatural blessings coming to the Israelites. They're coming. They're coming. Something like never before is coming to you. I hope y'all can get this. Something that we have never seen in the history of the world is coming in these last days, and everybody feels it. The Jews and the Gentiles, everybody feel it right now. They say that something is different. They see the banks starting to close. They know something is about to happen. Oh, I'm telling y'all right now. And look at this. And what is judgment and tribulation for them is salvation for you.
By the time these young people get ready to have children, they will realize that as the hole in the ozone layer gets larger and larger, more and more sunlight is allowed to enter our environment, and more people who have pale faces are going to die of melanoma, which is a skin cancer that you get if you don't have enough melanin in your skin. Let me tell you, people of color are going to be very much in demand for reproduction in the future. Mark my words, you're laughing now.
The record number of fires burning across Brazil's Amazon rainforest has prompted renewed global outcry over climate change. And big spending. $5 million from Leonardo DiCaprio, £10 million from the UK. Meanwhile, Bill Gates is backing the first high-altitude experiment of one radical climate change solution, creating a massive chemical cloud that could cool the Earth. It's called solar geoengineering, and it's highly controversial.
This is Malachi chapter 4 verse 2. But for you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness will rise with healing in his wings, and you will go free, leaping with joy like calves let out of a pasture. Son, S-U-N.
And they will not be punished all the days of their lives, and will not die through the plagues or the judgments of the wrath. You hear that? They will not die. They will not, oh Lord, what did it say? They will not be punished during the plagues and the judgments of the wrath, but the number of the days of their life will be completed, and their lives will become old in peace, and the years of their joy will be many, everlasting happiness and peace for all the days of their life. That second part is talking about the 1,000-year reign with Christ that we're going to have once this mortal put on immortality, once this corruptible put on incorruptible. Revelations 20:4, paraphrase, I saw the throne on which were seated those who had been given authority to reign and rule for 1,000 years with Christ. You can't reign without power. You cannot reign without power. You cannot rule without power. And the nations that you're going to reign over, because the scripture says that they're going to reign and rule over the nation. Well, the nations that you're going to reign over, see, this is the kind of message that it gets you banned. See, how you going to reign over America when America got the United States military? We're going to get into that in a minute. Because Christ said he's coming to strike down the nations. See, this is the kind of message right here. They got the prophet's head cut off. See, it wasn't that BS that they preach to you in your churches when they say that it was just, all we have, everybody in the world. Christ came to save everybody and he loves and cares everybody. That ain't going to get you banned. You can tweet that right now. But you tweet that Christ, the black Christ, is coming to strike down the nations, specifically America and all the Western white culture European nations, that he's coming to strike down them and put the black man on top. That'll get you banned. hysteric, huh? You see now? Now you see how they got their heads cut off. Now you see how they got canceled. See, you can say certain things, but certain things you can't tweet about. You see what I'm saying? Oh, Lord, I'm going somewhere. But you can't reign and rule without power, without might, without strength. You are numerous as the sands, but the American military got enough bullets that are numerous as the sands and the stars in the sky. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Their technology is power. Their military is power. The nations have power. They have weapons and ammunition. They have power. I don't know if y'all know, as a side note, that not one country in Africa is allowed to manufacture its own weapons. Did you hear what I said? Isn't that crazy? They literally have to buy their weapons from America, any of those white Western cultural European countries, or China or Russia. They are not allowed, even though all of the minerals and the materials that they get to create weapons they get from Africa, the African countries are not allowed to create their own weapons and manufacture their own weapons for themselves. That's just a side note. But no weapon formed against you will prosper. Well, what God is about to give you, no weapon formed, no weapon that's ever been created will be able to harm you. You will be as God.
That thing that you're told that makes your skin black is actually being used in EMP shielding and military weapons and military application. Melanin is far more powerful than we even realize. And scientifically, it's actually considered to be biochemical sunlight. It's what connects you to nature. It not only amplifies what you are, but it's understood to repair DNA.
You are going to have power in these last days. God is going to pour out his spirit, his supernatural power on you and your descendants, on you and your kin in these last days. Zechariah 12:8, on that day the Lord will defend the people of Jerusalem, so that the weakest among them will be like David. You're going to be strong, and the house of David will be like God. I keep going over scripture for scripture that's saying that you're about to be like God. It says, continuing on, like the angel of the Lord is going before them. So like you in a battle, but like you're fighting physically, but the people you fight, it feels like the angel of the Lord is hitting them, right? And that's why the scripture goes on in Leviticus in 26:8 to say, 5 of you would chase 100, and 100 of you would chase 10,000. That's why it says in Joshua 23:10, one man shall chase 1,000, for the Lord your God, he is fighting for you. Because when you go before your enemies, you're going to have a supernatural strength, the Spirit of God poured out on you. This is a faith that surpasses all understanding. This thing that's about to happen to you in the last days, something that's never happened in the history of the whole world. This is the type of radical, this is the type of insane faith that Christ was talking about, that the prophets and the apostles was talking about, the type of faith that got them all beheaded, the supernatural blessings that's coming to the Israelites in these last days. In these last days, the Israelites will be restored to God supernaturally. The Israelites will be restored as gods supernaturally. Psalms 82:6 says, I have said ye are gods. And Jesus replied, is it not written in your law that ye are gods? That's John 10:34. Satan in these last days, and I've been preaching about it in the days of Noah, and they keep banning all my days of Noah videos. Go to YouTube. It's crazy. So that's clear that it's the clear-cut truth in those videos. So you got to go to ministries.leonelson.com to watch the days of Noah part 1 and part 2, which pretty much tells you everything that's going on right now. They keep banning. Because mainly one of the things I talk about is how Satan is changing their DNA in these last days, right? And God is going to change your DNA in these last days. Satan has a mark. God has a seal. God has a mark. Satan has a seal, a mark, something that he's giving you or going to give you, that he's implanting you. I hope y'all hear what I'm saying. And he's going to change your DNA. Oh, that's okay. He's changing your DNA, and God is going to change his people's DNA in these last days when he poured out his spirit on us supernaturally. Acts 2:17. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith God, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. Listen to this part though. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your sons, your daughters. Did you hear me? Your sons, your daughters. And your young men shall see visions. Your old men shall dream dreams and mount up on wings like eagles and run and not grow weary. The weakest among you gonna be like David. I can't be like God. Oh, in these last days. In these last days, Ezekiel 39 and 29. And I will not hide my face anymore from them when I pour out my spirit upon the house of Israel, declares the Lord. So you were cursed supernaturally. Generational curses. If you literally go look up a curse, it says that it has to be done by something supernaturally. Black people have said forever that we are generationally cursed, whether that be by poverty, whether that be with the crime, whether that be by us being the lowest in every nation in prison, whether that's be, oh Lord, by us being borrowers and not lenders. Every black person you've ever heard, ever have give a speech ever in life has said we are generationally cursed. But you have almost never heard nobody say that we are generationally cursed by God, because you can only be cursed by something supernatural. God cursed us supernaturally, and God is going to bless us supernaturally. God cursed us for us disobeying his laws, commandments, and his statutes. Deuteronomy 28:15, Leviticus 26. The list goes on and on about the scriptures in the Jubilees, where he says that he's going to curse us because we disobeyed his laws, his commandments, and his statutes. But God is not a man that he shall lie. And God said that he was going to bless the house of Israel, those that have been scattered throughout the whole world on ships. He said, I'm going to gather my people from the four winds of the earth. I'm going to gather my people from all nations where they have scattered, and I'm going to place them back in their own land. I will not hide my face from them anymore. Y'all don't hear me? I'm going to pour out my spirit on them. And listen, the house of Israel will be like God, and the weakest among them will be strong as David. God is going to bless us in these last days. I can't get off that. He is going to supernaturally bless us in these last days, to where we're going to have superpowers. I don't know if y'all know that the X-Men is about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. You can go look this up. I don't know if y'all know that the Neo, the Matrix movies were really written by a black woman, and the movies were about black people being asleep and having to get a pill to wake up. Spirits inside of a body, y'all hear what I'm saying? Walking in a world that's not your own. Trying to integrate into a world that's not your own, that you don't fit into. You feel strange and weird. You a lion, trying to conform to the ways of an eagle. The scripture says that the eagle nations came down on you, languages you did not know, and swooped down on you and took you into captivity. So you lions trying to fly. You want to get married like the eagles. You want to dress like the eagles. You want to eat the same thing as the eagles, but you are a totally different species. Y'all both animals, but you are totally different species. The sun kills them, the sun empowers you. Superman, also about the black man.
Our melanin is closely related to chlorophyll. It's only one magnesium molecule away from it. We know plants go through photosynthesis, but melanated people do too. We both take the radiation from the sun and turn it into energy. Look at a melanated person. Our skin is brown like tree bark, and our hair is like roots of trees or leaves, taking in water molecules.
If you know, then you know there's 3 types of melanin, but we're going to speak on eumelanin for right now. Eumelanin, which particularly black people have, right? We have the ability to take in the sun's radiation, which you already knew, invisible and visible light, and turn it into energy. Our melanin basically takes in the radiation and energy from the sun, disassociates the water molecule from the oxygen and the hydrogen, and turns it into gas, just like the first level of plants. And it's the fact for me that melanin can absorb the full electromagnetic spectrum and convert that to energy, just like plants.
Ain't no white man can go look at the sun and get powerful. Only black people can do that. We can go all the way to the sun, and the sun energizes us. Right? You look over there in Israel, I might have to put the article up, but they showed when they all first came there how skin cancer rose through the roof. Skin cancer. And skin cancer is one of the highest places in the world for people getting skin cancer, because you took a bunch of white Europeans and dropped them in the desert.
Whoa!
Melanated people originate from that country, from that land. Oh, I'm going somewhere. I'm going on a tangent.
Did you hear that? Whoa! Whoa! Man, that's powerful. Real, woo! That's powerful. And you know they've been trying to shut videos like this down for a while. But that young brother, he's powerful. He's a pastor. But black people, they don't even know the reason why they're mocking your skin, and they think that they're hurting you, but they only cursing themselves. Because basically, with the sun and the melanoma, it hits the Caucasian race, and when they lie up under the beds, lie on the beds, they can only be on the bed and get tan for a certain amount of time. And even though as they doing blackface, you see how the Most High God, but you'll hear someone probably do the same thing, but be run up into the tanning salons, trying to get melanin in their body. So some of you black people, who kind of shame, the ones that got shamed about, got that slave mentality, or I'm too dark, or I'm too this. My hair's too nappy. Now you see. You had to hear from him. You had to hear this message, because slowly, and you looked at my earlier video. They hate you, but they don't even know why they hate you. They don't even know why they mock you. But as they hate you and they mocking you and trying to put you to death, and some will go to a link to try to put you to death to justify themselves. That's how hatred deep it is and still remain in America. It hasn't left. And do you know where these areas of the weather is hitting? Places like Mississippi, places along different parts where there's sundown towns, and that they're practically vacant. They're predominantly all white, and they're practically a ghost town. There's no progression going through there. See, this is what they curse themselves. They curse themselves. There's a video, and this was one guy. He travels to different towns, not Nick, but there's another guy, and he goes all in the back lanes of these sundown towns, and that once had black people there, and so when the population was, there's hardly no black people, but wherever there hardly no black people is, there hardly no progression. And it's not like that. And most of the kids of those people, it's nothing but elderly people there. Because there's nothing for young people to do. There's no companies that's coming to these sundown towns. Most of these sundown towns is being cursed. They get cursed economically. They get cursed by weather disasters, and they get cursed by pestilence. They get cursed. See what they did was, they put. See, now it's gonna flip back. It's flipping back on them. And every time they hard up and be racist towards us, and some of these other nations want to grab on to what they call the white supremacy train. They're gonna get it too. They're gonna get it, but supernaturally. See, the black Americans and other black people around the world, they're about to get some power. They come to the faith, and when God wake them up by the Spirit, boom, they're gonna wake up. This is not, and they won't teach this in church. No, they won't teach that. He's right. They won't teach that in church. But you see, he read right from the scriptures, and he opened up, and he used the Bible as a way of, he's showing it in a way like, I'm not, making it something for myself or what my interpretation is. He put as actual interpretation. Now, some people that watch this video and may watch this video, research those scriptures, the book of Enoch, research the Bible. And black people, stop bleaching your skin. You have to lighten your skin. And the ones who do, you're going to make out better in the end. That was the whole point of this video. But even though it was the history of degrading But look what's going to come in the end. And what they've been mocking and what they still mock to this day. Generations and generations are still doing this. And they hate black people, even living next to them. To the point that was a form where let's mock them, let them entertain us, but they don't want us. And it might happen in the most racist places, racist cities to racist towns. You don't see it. Mark my word. You don't see. And they're going to see who the really people was. See, when they brought back the people of it back into the Israel back in 1946, that's what he was talking about, 1948. And that some of them got skin cancer. See, but it wasn't the spirit that brought them back. It was another form. But it was through the man, through using the United Nations to bring Israel back to bring the people back to Israel from these different parts and say where the people here, and here. And then they made themselves to be the people, and they took over to be the people. And now, and I don't know if you guys know this, if they're the people of Yeshua, you can even say the word Yeshua, which is an English version of Jesus. They're about to pass the law in Israel that you can't even say the word Jesus to people who are Christians. This video right now, you cannot say it over the internet over there. You cannot preach it in the streets. You cannot do anything. So they're chosen people, right? They're the chosen people, but you can't. How can you be the chosen people, but yet you're not mentioning Yeshua, which is the English name version of Jesus? Think about that for a second. They're about to pass the law. They're about to pass a law in Israel. Look it up on in probably Israel Today. They're about to pass it, and it's on several news stations. So how are they the chosen people? And that we were supposed, and then the Christian was going to come in and preach the gospel. No, not that they won't refuse to. If you do, they'll persecute you. And that's when they elected Israel's new leader. That's why Netanyahu probably got back in as the prime minister, and with a Zionist board. And Christians don't even know that. They don't even know. So, and you see, I'm going to look up that article, what he's talking about. I want to see it. But you see how the deception is? They had to fit the narrative to be the people that they are. Even though they are in the Bible, but they're not the original Hebrews. And they've been fighting it like I don't know what to shut it down. And now they were control. That's why they're in control of some of the media, and no matter social media or regular media. So it's something to think about. But yeah, black people, as they mock you, as they did everything, God's gonna get them really good in the end. And he's gonna show you who was behind everything. Who was behind everything to make you do what you do. You about to get revelation from the Lord that you ain't never but he gonna let you know, don't be angry, because I'm gonna take care of it. I'm gonna bring them to their needs. And why they being so arrogant? Mark my word. That's what Leo's basically saying. It's gonna happen. They better look it out, because you see it in the atmosphere. You feel it. Everybody feel it. It's a matter of time. Alright then, I hope you enjoyed this video, but keep your head up and be blessed, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.